Not every cat looks at a bird and sees prey. Some cats look at a bird and see family. Every morning in our kitchen, there are two bowls on a small wooden stand. One holds cat food, the other holds seeds. And every single morning, without fail, an orange tabby named Biscuit and a tiny lovebird named Kiwi eat side by side, shoulder to feather, like this is the most ordinary thing in the world. It isn't ordinary, not even close. Our vet still shakes his head every time we mention it. Friends who hear the story assume we're exaggerating, right up until we show them the video. Even then, some of them still don't quite believe it. Biscuit is a hunter by nature. Every instinct in his body was built for exactly one thing when it comes to small, fast-moving birds: chase, catch. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it works in almost every home that tries to mix a cat and a bird. But nobody told Biscuit that. Kiwi came into our lives almost by accident. My daughter had wanted a bird for years. When a friend could no longer care for her lovebird, we said yes before we'd really thought it through. A small green blur arrived with a red-orange face and a streak of blue along his back. He chirped non-stop from a cage in the living room, louder than I expected, restless, constantly climbing the bars like he already owned the place. The moment Kiwi arrived, I remember standing in the doorway, watching Biscuit's ears go flat and his whole body go still. That predator stillness, the kind that makes your stomach drop. We decided right then that they would live separate lives. Different rooms, closed doors, a cage that never opened when Biscuit was nearby. I told my daughter it was the safest way, maybe the only way, and she nodded even though I could see she was disappointed. I spent that first week reading everything I could find about cats and birds living together. Almost everything I read told me the same thing: don't risk it. The stories rarely ended well. For the first few weeks, that's exactly how it went. Biscuit would sit for hours in front of Kiwi's cage, just watching, not pawing at the bars, not crouching to pounce, just watching. Kiwi, instead of panicking the way you'd expect, would hop closer to the bars every single day. He'd tilt his head at the enormous orange face on the other side of the wire. Some mornings I'd catch them just staring at each other in complete silence, neither one moving. Two strangers slowly running out of reasons to be afraid. The day everything changed started as an accident. My daughter forgot to latch the cage door before school. I found out when I walked into the living room. Kiwi was perched calmly on top of his cage, completely free, and Biscuit sat 3 feet away on the couch. Not crouched, not stalking, just sitting. My heart stopped. For one terrible second, every warning I'd read flashed through my mind at once. I didn't move. I didn't call out, afraid that any sudden sound would trigger something I couldn't undo. I just watched as Kiwi hopped down, walked across the carpet, and stopped right in front of Biscuit's paws. Biscuit lowered his head slowly and sniffed him once. Then he did something I still can't fully explain. He tucked his front paws under his chest and folded down into the couch cushion. Then he simply closed his eyes. The small green bird standing an inch from his face was somehow the least threatening thing in the entire house. I stood in that doorway for almost 10 minutes, afraid to breathe. I was watching a friendship begin that should never have been possible. Hey, if a story like this makes your day a little better, I'd really love it if you hit subscribe. It genuinely means more than you know, and there's a lot more where this came from. From that day on, everything between them shifted. Kiwi started spending his mornings on the wooden stand by the kitchen window. He eats from a little dish set beside Biscuit's food bowl. They never touch each other's food, they never fight over space, they just eat, quietly, together, like they've done it their whole lives. In the afternoons, Biscuit sleeps on a soft gray blanket in the corner of the living room. Kiwi has taken to climbing straight into the curve of his body. He tucks himself against the warm fur near his shoulder. Some days he even nuzzles into the fur at Biscuit's neck. Biscuit simply lets him, one paw resting near him like he's keeping watch, even in his sleep. On quiet afternoons, you can hear the two of them breathing in the same slow rhythm. If you didn't know better, you'd think they'd grown up together. We started noticing the small things after that. The way Biscuit angles his body slightly whenever Kiwi walks past,
almost like he's making room. The way he waits at the food stand until Kiwi has landed before he starts eating, almost like an unspoken rule about going second. The way his tail, usually twitching and restless, goes completely still whenever Kiwi is close. Even Kiwi changed. He used to shriek at every sudden movement in the house. These days, he barely reacts unless Biscuit reacts first. It's almost as if he decided, at some point, that his safety lived in that orange fur more than anywhere else. People who visit us and see them together always ask the same question: how did you train him to do that? We didn't train him to do anything. He decided this on his own, quietly, one small choice at a time, long before we noticed. The moment that told us just how deep this bond went happened on a stormy night in early spring. Thunder cracked hard enough to shake the windows. Kiwi has always been terrified of loud noise, and he fell straight off his perch in a panic. His wings flapped wildly against the side of his cage. For a moment, the panic in that small cage was the only sound in the house. I ran into the room to calm him down, but Biscuit had already gotten there first. He was pressed right up against the cage bars, his body curled low and steady around the base. It was the same spot where he used to sit guarding nothing at all, long before Kiwi ever existed. Every time thunder rolled, Kiwi pressed himself closer to that warm orange fur through the bars. Biscuit stayed exactly where he was, not moving, not startled, just present. I sat down on the floor beside them and stayed there until the storm passed. An hour later, I watched a cat guard a bird instead of hunting one. My daughter cried when she saw it, not from fear this time, but from something closer to relief. Something in Biscuit had simply decided long ago that this small, fragile creature was his to protect. I think about that night a lot, because everything we're taught tells us instinct always wins, that a cat is a cat and a bird is prey. There's no changing the rules nature wrote a long time ago. But Biscuit never read those rules. Or maybe he read them and chose something else entirely. Maybe some bonds simply choose to write their own rules instead of following the old ones. Love, it turns out, doesn't always follow the script it's handed. Sometimes it looks like two bowls on a wooden stand. Sometimes it looks like a paw resting near a cage during a storm. Sometimes the fiercest hunter in the house becomes the gentlest guardian. All because something small and green decided to trust him first and never once looked away. If you ever wonder whether animals can choose love over everything they were built to be, just remember this. There's an orange cat somewhere who guards a lovebird every single night and never once has asked why. Do you think animals can truly override instinct for love, or is Biscuit just a rare exception? Tell me what you think in the comments.